Hello everyone, welcome to hands-on ICD-10 coding tutorial, session 9, ICD-10 CM, table of drugs and chemicals. First, I will give you an overview of session 9. So in this session, I will go through the coding steps with table of drugs and chemicals. And then we will go through one coding example using the table of drugs and chemicals. So how to find a code for a drug or chemical? Usually there's a three-step process. Step 1 is to do a table lookup by row. The row is the substance name. For example, ibuprofen. You find the row with the term ibuprofen. And then step 2 is to find the right column. There are 6 columns which correspond to the 6 scenarios. And then final step, step 3, to verify the code in the ICD-10 CM tabular list. So let's find the code for ibuprofen, the simple coding case. So now is the time to pull out your coding book. Or you can go to our website, medicalcodecenter.com. So under ICD-10 CM, just click the table of drugs and chemicals. So you can either find ibuprofen by click I, and then find a column here, ibuprofen. Or you can just type the substance name directly. Do a search. So this way is much quicker. So as we can see, we find the right row, but there are 6 columns. So each column, the column number is the last digit is 1. The column 1 is the 1, and then column 2, the last digit is 2. So the first column is poisoning, accidental, unintentional. So in this case, you have a 1 at the last digit. And the second column is poisoning, intentional, self-harm. So you have a 2 at the end. And the third column, poisoning, assault, you have 3 at the last digit. And then the fourth column is poisoning, undetermined. So you have 4 at the last digit. And then the fifth column is adverse effect. So you have 5 at the last digit. And the last column, column 6, underdosing, you have 6. So depending on which case you are in your coding scenario, you just find the right column. So now let's code a drug coding example. The patient was seen for treatment of a fine rash that had developed on the patient's trunk and upper extremities over the last 3 to 4 days. The patient was diagnosed with hypertension 7 days ago and started on ramipril, 10 milligrams daily. The physician determined the rash to be dermatitis due to the ramipril. The ramipril was discontinued, and the patient was prescribed a new antihypertensive medication, captopril. In addition, the physician prescribed a topical cream for the localized dermatitis. So this coding example is from the PCC videos by Bonnie Atlas. So Bonnie did a great job coding this with the coding book, a physical book. So if you're interested, you can search on YouTube for her video. But here, we're going to coding with the online book. So you can compare the difference between the coding with the online book and the coding with the physical book. So the primary diagnosis is the rash, the dermatitis. So let's look for let's go to the, before you look at the answer, go to the next slide. Please code by yourself, either with a coding book or go to the online book. So first, we need to code a dermatitis. So we'll go to the ICD-10 CM index to diseases and injuries. So dermatitis with D. Here, dermatitis. So there's a lot of codes related to dermatitis, but in this case, this is due to the drug and chemicals. So we'll find the so we have due to here, this, and then we find the drugs entry due to drugs and medicaments generalized internal use. So we have O20 L27.0, and also we have a localized skin eruption. So the code is L21.1 here. So we have to verify this code in the ICD-10 CM tabular list. So in this online book, you just click the code here, it will bring you to the tabular list. So make sure you read the coding notes here. So for L27.1, so localized skin eruption due to drugs and medicaments taken internally. This is our primary code. And also under this code, there's a coding note. Use additional code for adverse effect if applicable to identify drug T36 to T50 with 5th or 6th character 5. So that means the we have to look at the in the drug table and the 5th column. So let's go to the ICD-10 CM table of drugs and chemicals. Here we have ramipril. We just do a search here. We find the code, and then from the coding notes, it will ask you for the 5th adverse effect. So use this code here. So again, we find the row, find the column. The code is T46.4x5. The last step is to verify this code in the ICD-10 CM tabular list. So if you're using a physical book, you can go to the tabular list to find this code. But in this case, we just need to click this code here to go to the tabular list. Here we see the 7th sign here. So that means this code T46.4x5 need a 7th digit. So click that, and then you have 3 cases. For initial encounter, you have to add A. For subsequent encounter, you have a D, and then for sequela, you add an S. So in our case, it's an initial encounter. So the code we're looking for is T46.4x5A, the first code here. So let's go back to the case here. We have coded the dermatitis, L27.1, and then the adverse effect of ramipril, T46.4x5A. And finally, we have hypertension. So let's code hypertension here. So let's go to the index to diseases and injuries. So you have hypertension, H. Hypertension. Hypertension, hypertensive. Just click this over here. So we have this page for all the hypertensive code. So in our case, we don't have other situations related to hypertension. We just use the generalized hypertension code I-10. So again, we click I-10 here to go to the tabular list. So make sure you read through all the coding notes. So in this case, none of the coding nodes apply. So the code is I-10. So again, the other way is to code. If you go to the index to disease and injuries, instead of looking row by row, you can just type hypertension directly here. So you get the code directly, and then here is much quicker. You click I-10 here. So I think we have finished this case. So to summarize, we have 3 codes. L27.1, that's for the dermatitis. And then you have adverse effect of the ramipril, T46.4X5A. And then you have I-10, hypertension. So you can compare, you can go back to the Bonnie's video using a coding book, physical coding book, and also compare using the online book. You will find that using the online book is much quicker to find the right code. One reason is because you can do a search, and also when you verify the code with the ICD-10 CM tabular list, there's a link from the search result. You can just click the link, go directly to the tabular list. That's the end of this session 9. Thank you very much for watching.